Defending pole champ Mark Skaife was the popular pick to make it 2 from 2. His twin-turbo Winfield GTR charged up the mountain, but 1,500 kilos is a lot of weight to carry. Under the circumstances, his lap of 2:14.546 was a beauty, though not good enough to make the front row.
2:14.56, a little at what you would have been expecting.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, as I said before, with the Sierra, you can wind the boost up to get more straight line speed, so that's about as good as we could do.
Spectators have warmed to Larry Perkins since he blitzed the field in the recent Sandown 500. Yesterday, he silenced his critics with a marvellous lap in the Bob Jane T-Mart's Commodore. It may well be an early model VL, but Larry has a knack of coaxing more from a V8 than even the factory boys. Listen to the cheers up here. He's got a huge following here at Mount Panorama. A lot of Victorians here.
Just brushes the brakes off. Cuts the road down as short as he can. The crowd going berserk. Larry's a big favourite up here. Doing a superb job. 1:11.384. This will be a good lap from Larry.
Well, he's looking for a 2:14.5, 2:14.6, I'd reckon, but we'll see what happens when they stop the clock. Time about to come up. 2:14.431, spot on for Larry Perkins.
Yeah, it's as good as I could do. It felt very good. We got to keep it all together for tomorrow, but that's as good as I could do, and wait and see.
Dick Johnson's last pole win at Bathurst was in 1989. The history books show he went on to win the Tooheys Classic that year. History might well repeat itself this weekend because he got the first leg of the double-up yesterday and with consummate ease. Fellow who has won the great race twice.
Swan song for the Sierras. Ooh, Johnson gets sideways under power. Enormous power these things generate when they get on the boost. Johnson riding it right on the limit. The Shell team had a few engine problems early in the 1:10.91.
Outstanding, the fastest time to the top of the mountain.
This is a stunning time from Johnson. Are they getting some speed out of these things? Ross Stone came aboard the Shell team this year. Used to go to the new suspension and engine development program. These cars really have been the highlight of the Ford Sierras in the Touring Car Championship. Johnson swings in hard on the brakes, maximum braking. He tries to squeeze every ounce of performance out of this car.
He's done a fabulous job. Tommy Smith and the boys at Shell be happy about this lap that Dick Johnson is cutting at Mount Panorama. This could be the leader of the pack shortly. As Johnson comes down to the final corner at the end of Subaru Straight, the checkered flag is out and Johnson takes the Shell Sierra across the line.
Very smooth, very precise.
2:12.89, there's no fox like an old fox, Dick.
Well, the greyer the hairs, I think the faster we go.
You've let Johnny Bow set the fastest times the last couple of days. People were even surprised you hopped in here. You certainly proved it.
No, well, the car feels good, I feel good. Must be all those 3 kilometres I swim every morning.
So here's how the top 10 will line up today. Johnson and John Bow on pole in the Shell Sierra. 2 is Larry Perkins and Steve Harrington in the Bob Jane T-Mart's Commodore. From 3, defending champions Mark Skaife and Jim Richards in the Winfield Nissan. 4 is the Peter Jackson Falcon to be shared by Glenn Seaton and Alan Jones. 5, the Holden Racing Team Commodore of Thomas Mazzera and Bradley Jones. Position 6, the second of the Nissans, the GIO GTR of Mark Gibbs and Rowan Onslow. From 7, the 1990 Great Race winners Alan Grice and Wyn Percy. 8 is perennial favourite Peter Brock and Manuel Reuter in the Mobile 05 Commodore. 9, the remarkable B&H BMW of Johnny Cicotto and Tony Longhurst. And rounding out the 10, the Synovus Vitamin Sierra of Klaus Niedzwitz and Greg Hansford.
Gary, we've been talking Group A's, and obviously they're the cars that everybody's particularly interested in, and the new spec cars this year.
Absolutely.
But there is another class here, the 1600cc.
You mean the Corolla class?
I do mean the Corolla class.
Yes, a field of 10 cars, and they are all Corollas, and it is very interesting because there's a guy called Jeffrey Full running in this who's won the category the last 2 years and is running again this year, and every year he's had a different partner. So if he can pull off 3 in a row with different driving partners, he'll be a genius. But the rally boys, the Bates twins from Canberra, were the fastest qualifiers there, ahead of the Bargwanna cousins from Sydney, and then Full with his partner Peter Verheyen. So yeah, there's a lot of interest in that class as well.
Okay, that's the form guide on the 1600cc. We'll keep an eye on that. Group A, of course, most important. Mike Raymond over in the race centre is about to take a look at the full grid.
Yes, thank you, Bruce. It's been difficult to try and frame a market. I always said that I thought Richards and Skaife were odds-on certainties. But my co-commentators who I welcome this morning, Mark Osler and Richard Hay, guys, you might have other ideas.
I can't see anything different to the Nissan GTR winning this race. That number 1 car is just bulletproof reliable. We've seen that all week, and certainly throughout the Touring Car Championship. And don't forget, Bathurst really is turbo country. The turbos love this circuit. They produce a lot of torque, and with these lower temperatures, it's really going to suit the turbo cars. I can't see anything beating the GTR today.
What about you, Richie?
I think the Nissan would have to be favourite, but don't forget the Commodore. Win Percy and Alan Grice, they won 2 years ago. They finished second last year. And Alan Moffat has brought over Rudy Eggenberger to prepare his Sierras again.
That's something worth looking at. We might take a look at the entire field, how they will line up today for the 92 edition of the Great Race. Pole position, of course, has gone to Dickie Johnson. Sensational, outstanding performance there. Let's pick up, we've given you the top 10. Out of 11, it's Olofsson and Crompton in the second of the Winfield Nissan GTRs. Bond and Smith and the Caltech Sierra start at position 12. And out of 13, it is, of course, O'Brien and Bradman in the Synovus Sierra. From 14, it's 3. Trevor Reed and Steve Ashby, the Lanesvale Smash Repairs car. 15 is 35, Park and Parsons and the Peter Jackson Sierra. Starting out of position number 16, 55, Andrew Medecky and Troy Dunstan in the Mobil 1 Commodore. From 17, 18, Shell and Crick and the Shell Sierra. From 18, it's 20, Morris and Holm in the Benson and Hedges BMW. And from 19, 27, Terry Finnegan and Rogers in the Foodtown Commodore. And rounding out the top 20, Waldock and Peters in the Playscape Ampol Sierra.
Position 21, Moore and Gardner in the Commodore. Position 22, car 7, Peter Hopwood and Terry Bosanjak. Position 23, car 39, O'Brien and Graham in the Everlast Commodore. Out of position 24, car 41, Harrison Cook in the Daily Planet Holland. Out of position 25, car 13, Jones and Peter Jansen in the Ampol Max 3 Commodore. Position 26 today, car 50, Sala and Weeks in the Ford Sierra. 27, car 6, Grant and Grant in the Nissan Skyline. Position 28, car 14, Johnson and Wall in the Commodore VL. Out of position 29, car 37, Burke and Carling in the Toyota Supra. And out of 30, car 44, McCall and Gazzard in the Kart Mania Commodore.
Position 31, Dillman and Cotter with their BMW M3. 32nd, fastest man, English and Lamont with the Marathon Foods Commodore. 33, Golson and Beck with the 635 BMW. 34, Hendrick and Blanchard with another Commodore. And 35th, Wilmington and Watkinson with yet another Commodore. Position 36, Kerr and Watson with a Commodore. 37, Matthews and Newton with the Sierra RS500. 38, the first of the little Toyota Corollas, Bates and Bates. 39, Bargwanna and Bargwanna with their Corolla. And in 40th, another Corolla, Verheyen and Full.
From position number 41 in the grid, 72, Easton and Stratton in the Corolla. 42 is 76, Gardner and Conway in the second Corolla. 43, 73, Bobby Holden and Jones in another Toyota. From position number 44, 78, Dunford and Wright. Out of 45, it's Frank Binding and Tyndall in the Commodore. From position number 46, Murphy and Barnes in the Toyota Corolla. Little incident there this morning. And from 47, 77, Raya and Talbot in a Toyota Corolla.
So Mike Raymond there with Richard Hay and Mark Osler bringing us right up to date with the 47 starters in the Tooheys 1000. Well, much of the attention during the week has surrounded rookie driver and former world motorcycle champion Wayne Gardner. The Wollongong whiz makes his first trip to the mountain on 4 wheels. He did it on 2 in 1979, but today he's the new kid on the block. The Graham Moore Commodore won't be a threat to the hotshots, but merely having Gardner here at Bathurst is an enormous attraction.
Wayne Gardner joined the World 500 Trail in 1983, but was ready to call it quits after striking Italian Franco Alcini during this race at Assen. The young rider was